everyone. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the water feature here over at University of Mary Hardin Baylor. Pretty nice. It's a little under 40 degrees outside, so I am not sure that I would be able to handle being outside, especially since I'm being from Hawaii and still wearing shorts. But it is nice out here. I'll probably do a little bit more filming once spring shows up with outside, because I'm once in a while here because the kids go here. So in between, change of scenery might help out a bit for everyone who is watching and not just listening. But let's flip us over here. Ooh, it does not flip us over. So we're gonna just have to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm gonna just hold it out here and talk to the camera. Well, it's a Friday. Fridays are always bittersweet. If you saw the video that I did a while back about how, a lot of times on Friday, for me, it's a mixed bag, because I think, trading, can't trade on the weekend. I don't trade cryptocurrencies. So that's one thing. Can't really be engaged, can't really think about making money. My brain is always thinking about making money. On the weekends, I don't do business. I just I don't, for whatever reason. And I think it's okay. I think it's okay not to do that business. So it's always bittersweet. You can't make any money, but you get to spend time, get to relax, and hopefully decompress, which is what I am just working on recently. Is trying to decompress, trying to relax, trying to be more in the moment with everything. And I think that's what a lot of us need to do. We need that time to recover. Our, I guess, mindset, mentality, what have you, the go-getter mentality is just always to be on. Always be selling, always be closing, always be doing all these things to make your business better, or make the business better, so to speak. And you're always, quote unquote, on. And it's hard because, unless you absolutely love everything that you do for work, it can get kind of frustrating. When you like something that's so niche. I'll give the example. For me, I trade derivatives, and I like quantitative based analysis. So, numbers. And I'm also trained traditionally in finance. And I was a financial advisor for, 7 years, 8 years. So I live in that world. I like that world. I like when people from that world talk story, but those people who live in that world, it's really more, we're just talking. It's not about business. So that I like. But when it comes to people who are not in that world, and they ask me, when you're out at a party or whatever, I haven't been to a party in probably since, I think the last party I actually went to was right before COVID had hit in March of 2020, right before we got on the plane to go to Texas to visit my in-laws. And we made it the day before they stopped the air travel back to Hawaii. So it's been a while since I've been to a party, but the party, someone asks you what you do, and in our world of insurance, financial planning, financial consulting, that's your time to shine, right? And on the weekends, for me, I'm just and then what I'd say is, I work in finance, because I don't want to bring that into their lives. I don't. I personally would rather them make a formal or an official kind of reach out and be like, Matt, I had some questions about my finances. Can you take a look and give me some help? And maybe we can work together. I want that. I don't want, what do you do? And then try and wheel them in. because then it becomes awkward at the end of the situation or end of the conversation, and then you're like, you know what, like that's it, just not stress I want on the weekends. I want to be in the moment and talk about nothing. Maybe we talk about like oil and gas prices and inflation, but not in a very overlooking overview type, just to like, just to be friendly, to get an idea of how someone kind of thinks and how they, build that relationship um that friends would build, not business colleagues. And while yes, we should have be friends with our business colleagues, because that's kind of the where the good partnerships can come out, it's very difficult. And I personally would like to feel again, going into the weekend, going into I just something about water and mist and just nature. Just it's odd, odd tangent here. I've been in Texas for almost eight months now. Yeah. And the just amount of nature that exists out here, even coming from Oahu, like what one would think would be like paradise, I mean like nature and all that stuff. There's far more nature here, far more life out here. We got squirrels, we got, more types of birds, eagles flying around, we got vultures, we have, possums and just all kinds of animals. And then just this water feature here, it's something you would never really see in Hawaii. You might see like a small one encompassed in the middle of a great concrete city, but here it's just in the middle of a college campus. And this college campus is in the middle of, like residential areas. There's houses literally, like I think they're probably part of this campus. Like the campus kind of is built around the houses that were built here first. But it's just I want to feel that again. And it's hard because when you're always on, you're on even when you're not working, right? Because as an entrepreneur, as someone who has their own business, you can never really be off because you are your business. And I just feel that it made me anyway far more reluctant to go out, because I just don't want that feel. I don't want that feel like I'm here for business purposes. And to be quite honest, when I first started this business, I thought that was a blessing. I thought finally, I can go out and finally make time worthwhile for me. Rather than just go to have fun, I can go to, potentially grow my business. And after a while, that gets really old. And I'm sure some people will watch this and be like, what do you mean, man? That's like, I still believe that. That's still why I go out. Like people like Gary Vee, who I read his books. I love the guy. He's always on, but he loves what he does, and he loves it almost so much to the point where there is no negative, and there is no negative for that, because he believes in attention and giving people what they want, and then always being able to provide what people want, regardless of, like, for me, I'm in the finance space, right? So there's always a trade to be made. For someone like that who truly believes that everything is attention and everything is what people want, it's kind of the trade doesn't add up, because someone is making an obscene amount of money on one end, and then other people are kind of euphoric and are unable to tell that they may be putting themselves in a financially more risky situation because of their immediate need or immediate want that they are paying for, which is in all essence what humans do to themselves anyway. It's just, for me, not something that I can do because of finance. I know the trade. I am a risk, like, I am a risk broker. You know, that's pretty much what I am. I'm a risk broker, right? Whether it be in insurance and investment, there's risks on both sides. And someone is making a risk, or they're taking on a risk, or they are selling the risk, right? They're trying to, actually that's the same side of the trade, sorry. They are taking on a risk by selling it to someone, or they are buying protection by selling that risk to someone else. And that's like what an option contract literally is, and that's what I trade the most of the time. For us, you know, people who look at risk that way, and we look at life that way, it just, I mean, it's so different. When I look at like an hour phone call I spend with someone just talking story, it's like I just wasted, you know, $80, because that's kind of like my equation of how much I should be making per hour, you know. That person just stole $80 from me, pretty much is how I think of it in my head. And that's not the good way to think about it, because you never know, that conversation could lead to something in the future that could be $100,000 business opportunity, or something intangible, like they could have introduced you to somebody that could take you out to some awesome restaurant, right? Or tell you information during the conversation that doesn't help you financially, but helps you, you know, intellectually or emotionally, which later could help you later on. So there's a lot of things that you cannot measure. And that's the part that for someone who's an analytical risk trader or risk broker has a hard time quantifying, which is why I like to separate it from business, which is what I do now. And just sitting here talking to this camera, I am not trying to, I guess, make any kind of money on it. I'm just trying to collect my thoughts. It's kind of like my episodes on, you know, what I'm thinking now, just to talk through my thoughts, and also see, you know, a lot of times for myself especially, when you learn this business, when you learn about insurance and finance, people talk about it from all the positives. And that's, if you see something, like I said, if it's like with my annuity video I made last week, if you look at something from all the positives or all the negatives, obviously you have a negative connotation to it. You will not like it. But the same token, if you look at everything from all the positives, you will have to like it. So you have to look at both sides of the coin. There's always, always, always in the world of finance a risk. And on that side of the risk coin, there's a gimme and a gotcha. There's someone who's going to take on that risk because they believe that the risk is underpriced for whatever reason. And there's someone on the other side who believes the risk is worth paying to have that risk, you know, be transferred to someone else. I'd rather pay you $100 a month and you pay for this if it happens, like life insurance, for example. I would pay you $100 a month because I believe that me passing away, the impact to my family is well worth the $100 that I am paying you to take on that risk. On the insurance company side, they are taking the other side of that coin. They say, well, I believe that the risk is worth it, you know, for me to take, because I don't think you're going to die, and that's that. And it does not matter in the world of insurance who's right and who's wrong. It just matters what happens. Each of those parties have taken on the side that they want the other end of the trade, so to speak, right? And in the game, if your mind is always in that, it's really hard to do what I said earlier, right? With the, you know, value of the untangibles or intangibles. I don't know what this is called. But anyway, I've rambled on for probably way longer than I normally do. Again, we can enjoy the views. There we go. Looks nice out there. And I'll see you next time.